I'm Celisa Steele, Managing Director at Tagoras, and I'm joined via Skype by Tom Grobitsky, who's CEO and co-founder of Avilar. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Celise.
Well, thanks for being willing to do this interview, and I just wanted to start off by asking you to tell me a little bit about who Avilar is and what you do.
Well, Avilar is a workforce improvement company that we founded 18 years ago. We focus on government, nonprofit, associations, making their employees and customers and members more efficient and effective. So we do this by providing a combination of software both as a service and for licensing, as well as consulting and development activities in the broad space called talent management. And so training is just a component of that process, which includes skills assessment, development planning, performance management, succession planning, and career development.
Okay, great. And perhaps you've already sort of touched on this in what you've said in the sense that you span beyond training, but talk a little bit about how you differentiate yourself from other companies that offer LMSs in the association space.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, delivery of cost-effective training isn't our only goal. We have a very good LMS for associations and a large catalog of training courses that are particularly useful for association. We try to make them very price-effective, which is always, I've never met an association that wants something more expensive. But our focus is really on the broader picture of what your organization is trying to achieve. So while delivery of formal training, particularly in the compliance area, is often a problem, we want to make sure that the employee behavior and performance on the job is better. What we try to do is make sure that we put together a project that meets your specific requirements. So sometimes it's internal training, sometimes it's external training, sometimes it's simply about improving employees, which may or may not involve training that an LMS can deliver. So we sort of pride ourselves on putting together a solution that meets the requirements of the customer that isn't simply based upon a checklist of LMS features that sometimes we get.
Right. And I know that competency is a very important part of what you do and of your philosophy, and your brand line is the competency company. So can you just talk a little bit about how you see the relationship between competency and learning?
Well, it's a very important relationship. Learning is a time-consuming and expensive process. And everybody wants to know and justify why you're doing the training, which should be measured not just during the training or immediately after the training, but down the road. And what you're trying to do with training is impact employee behavior. And as a consequence, you have questions like, did you produce better leaders? Have sales picked up? Have you reduced the fault rate in your software? Different strategic issues, but all focused on why did you do the training. And all of these issues have a strong impact on organization that management care about. So with a competency-based approach, which we advocate, you'll have the facts that you need to improve your training process, achieve a better ROI, which is always important, but also make sure that it has a more meaningful impact on your employees and management. At the end of the day, management cares about how training is conducted, but they care more about what the impact of those results are. And for associations, it's often about career progression or some specific industry viewpoint.
Right, yeah. I think we also are seeing that real emphasis, the real need to be able to see the ROI and kind of what are you achieving by
Right.
offering the learning. Right. Well, great. And I just have one last question, which is, if you look into the future, 2 or 3 years out, what do you see coming down the pike for learning? What's exciting, or what's new that you think that's going to be absorbing us all?
Well, okay, so there are the obvious changes that are, we're seeing. Mobile, just-in-time delivery, short training videos, increasing use of video. Of course, as bandwidth becomes more readily available, people are doing videos. You're also seeing the push to not necessarily have experts produce the training, but pushing training tools into the hands of the knowledge person rather than an expert in training delivery. So, that's kind of the technical, where are we going. Social media for informal training is another aspect of that. But I think what we're seeing from our clients is actually a general fear about changes in the workforce demographics. While the last 4 years have had a big impact on employment and the economy, it's structurally hurt staff at organizations, and the concern is that once the economy improves and you're recovering, you won't have the employees that you need to get things done. So we actually see, our view is, while there are going to be these changes in modality of delivery, what we're seeing is that companies are going to be investing more in training, but they want to invest in a way that has a stronger impact, because they have to accelerate the learning. It's not so much the training, the delivery training, but it's the acceleration of learning, because they need employees that have the skills of all the ones that are retiring. And they want to do this at the lowest cost possible with minimizing the downtime. So again, that's to me, that's the future of learning. It's not the technologies, which are interesting, but it's the achievement, and how do you measure that achievement, and how do you make it improve it for the whatever the organization is using it for.
Right. So it's about technology as a tool, and ends to a means. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thanks for taking some time to speak with me, Tom. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for talking with me.